Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us here on Up with KREM on this Tuesday morning. I'm Channing Curtis.
And I'm Tim Pham. Our weather experts have been forecasting this all week. It's expected to hit triple digits today all across the region.
That's right. So with that in mind, we do have team coverage this morning to get you ready to start your day. Our Brandon T. Jones is joining us live with what you need to know about staying safe with hot cars this week.
And Nicole Hernandez is giving you some tips and tricks to keep your house cool. But first, let's head on over to meteorologist Thomas Patrick in the Weather Center. Thomas, you're tracking today's hot weather forecast. Could we break records today?
Yeah, I think it's actually likely that we're breaking records today. And while it may only be a couple degrees hotter than it was yesterday or hotter than what we're forecasting tomorrow, today is expected to be the hottest day of all of 2023. Yesterday, by comparison, upper 90s for Spokane, Deer Park, Coeur d'Alene, but already getting plenty of triple-digit heat across central Washington. That's only going to be a bit more widespread across the inland Northwest for today. Look at how scorching hot these temperatures will be at 102 degrees. That should be right about what our hottest temperature of the entire year should be. Actually would match our hottest day of 2022 as well at 102, and that would be a record high for Spokane, record tie for Coeur d'Alene. So excessive heat warnings remain in effect today. We have all the way until Thursday for these alerts until they expire.
Now, if you need some relief from all this heat, the city of Spokane has several cooling spaces available for anyone who needs to use them.
Yeah, Spokane libraries are opening up to help people cool off right now. This includes the Central, Liberty Park, Shadle Park, Hilliard, South Hill, and Indian Trail libraries. They open at 9 a.m. and close at 7 p.m. through Thursday. There's also more support available at the Trent Resource Shelter. Spokane Transit Authority also offering free fare if you are headed to a cooling shelter. The splash pads in city parks are also open for people to use for free.
Now, with the possibility of record-breaking temperatures this week, it is so important to remember that the inside of your car can reach deadly temperatures within just a matter of minutes.
Yeah, and because of that, KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones is showing you ways to stay safe during this heat wave. So Brandon, we talk about safety all the time, but we really just can't reiterate this enough, especially when it's this hot outside. Good morning.
Good morning, Tim Channing, and that's exactly why we're bringing you some of these safety tips this morning, because it is going to be extremely hot today. So if you can spend some time inside, that's what we highly suggest. But if you have to go to work, you got to do any type of errands, we want to remind you that the inside of these cars, when they're parked, when they're turned off, they can get extremely hot. They can get extremely hot. So there's also ways that we want to talk about that can maybe help keep it a little bit cool. I reached out to the Spokane Fire Department and also did some more research about what are those ways to basically go ahead and bring some coverage. All right, first things first, we've got these window shields, these window visors. Tossing these inside of your car can bring you some potential shade and maybe help keep your car a few degrees cooler. Number two, what you want to go ahead and do is park in shaded areas or a garage whenever possible. Three, go ahead and cover your seats with a towel. That towel will help a lot. That towel will help a lot, especially when you have like leather seats or things of that nature. Number four, open your doors and let it air out for a few minutes before entering the car. Go ahead and turn your car on, start that AC, and just let the car air out.
But when this kind of heat, I mean, it only takes a few minutes and the car is going to be, you know, you're going to be in the temperature range where it's dangerous.
All right, so coming up in the next half hour, you're going to hear more from the Spokane Fire Department. And we're also going to talk about what you should do if you ever came in contact with someone, a child, a pet, anything that was left inside of a hot car. They're going to give us advice on what you should do and who you should call. Reporting live in Spokane, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
Well, right now, heat protections are in place for outdoor workers within Washington State.
Yeah, the Washington Department of Labor and Industries released new rules employers must follow to keep their workers safe. So here's those rules. Enough cool water must be available for workers to drink at least 1 quart every hour. If the weather gets too hot, workers are encouraged to take 10-minute cool down breaks, and there has to be enough shade available to fully cover workers during a break. Employers must also look out for and respond to any signs of heat stroke with their employees. LNI says people in outdoor industries like farming and construction are at high risk of heat-related injuries like heat stroke. And during a heat wave like this, sun exposure can also become extremely dangerous.
So here are some tips to staying safe in this extreme heat. When possible, avoid exposing yourself to the sun as much as possible. Stay inside. It seems simple, but it can make such a big difference when it comes to your skin and your overall health. When you do go out in the sun, make sure to protect your skin by using a high SPF sunscreen. And make sure to reapply a good amount throughout the day in order to keep your skin protected. Now, if you had some trouble sleeping last night, this heat wave actually might be to blame.
Yeah, there won't be much relief from the high temperatures over the next few days, but there are some ways that you can cool off while you sleep. And one of them might sound like the exact opposite of what you would think to do. So a sleep doctor with UW actually says you should try taking a hot or warm shower an hour or two before bed. It's not only relaxing, but it also removes sweat and sunscreen.
And what happens is that dilates blood vessels in your skin, which helps the body dissipate heat, which allows the body to cool off to fall asleep.
So there are some other ways to cool off as well. You can keep your thermostat in the 60s or use a fan. Use breathable bedding also to cool your body down, and you'll want to look for sheets made with lightweight cotton, microfiber, or bamboo, or really anything with moisture wicking properties. And then of course, don't forget to drink plenty of water. And as we see triple-digit temps today, power companies across really our region are reminding residents not to overuse their electricity.
So peak energy demand typically comes between 5 and 10 p.m. That's when everyone's coming home from work and cranking up their air conditioners. But utility companies are asking you to avoid using your washer, your dryer, running your dishwasher, or even charging your electric car during that time of day. Officials are also reminding people to make sure that they aren't cooling their homes when no one's there, and don't cool off rooms that no one's using. Taking these steps can help avoid potential power outages.
It's also important to note the National Weather Service says the heat actually kills more people than any other extreme weather event. There are more yearly deaths attributed to heat compared to other weather disasters like floods, hurricanes, and even tornadoes. The U.S. Department of Energy says only around half of Washingtonians use some type of air conditioning. About 30% of those have central air. So it is so important to check in on your neighbors, friends, or family who don't have air conditioning to make sure they're okay, as vulnerable populations are the most affected by this heat.
So at 6:08 right now, that actually brings us to our wake-up call this morning. With this heat wave hitting our region, we want to know, how do you stay cool? If you have any hot weather tips to share, or maybe just some activities that you like to do when it's this hot out. Like me personally, I instantly go for ice cream and popsicles. I stock up on them. I eat them as my snack because it makes me feel good.
Yeah, absolutely.
And cools you off. So text us what your tips are, 509-448-2000, or post to social media and use the hashtag #UpWithKREM.
Yeah.
One viewer saying they use windshield shades and windows that don't have those room darkening.
Oh,
that's really
a great idea.
That is actually a really great idea. Thomas, do you have any tips?
Yeah.
I do try to get the windows open first thing in the morning to
Smart
get a
one.
little bit of that cool air in before it gets too hot all over again. It's nice to at least have that moment to have the overnight hours to cool us off, because that's not the case in, say, Phoenix, Arizona, when they were getting lows in the 90s. Yeah, not quite the case there. So for hours like this, it's definitely comfortable enough. This is where you do want to get outside if you need to do that early morning exercise or walk the dog. It's still 70 degrees right now, and it's totally fine to do just that. Let's look at current temperatures all across the region. Spokane, one of our warmer spots at the moment. Pullman is also at 70 degrees, and we see 63 currently in Coeur d'Alene, but we are going to rise up those temperatures extremely quickly. Look at the noon hour. 95 at noon would be absolutely scorching hot. And we are expecting about 100 degrees by 2 or 3 in the afternoon for today, with nothing but sunny skies all day long.